Liam tightened the straps on his jacket as the cold wind swept across the empty valley. The sky above was painted in dark shades of blue and purple, with two moons slowly rising on the horizon. The planet had no name, at least, not one that Liam knew. His ship had crashed 3 days ago, and all he had now was a damaged survival pack, a half-functioning comm device, and a long hike through unknown land. He had searched for any human signal. Nothing. No towns, no shelters, no other survivors. As the sun dipped below the distant ridges, the temperature dropped fast. Liam stopped at the base of a small rocky hill and looked around. Trees, if they could be called that, with silver leaves and thorny trunks, stood in silent rows. A good place to set camp. He gathered dry branches from the strange plants and arranged them in a circle of stones. With a bit of struggle, he lit a fire. The flame crackled, warm and comforting. For the first time in days, he felt something close to peace. He sat close, rubbing his hands. The smell of the burning wood oddly sweet mixed with the scent of cold metal from his gear. He pulled out a protein bar and chewed slowly, staring into the fire. Then, he felt it, a strange tension in the air, like being watched. Liam slowly turned his head. Behind him, the forest was still. No wind, no sounds, just silence. He looked back at the fire, trying to stay calm. Maybe it was just nerves. He had been alone for too long. Suddenly, a soft sound, barely a whisper, came from behind the trees. "You shouldn't have lit that fire." Liam froze. The voice was female, calm, clear, and not human. He stood up slowly, reaching for the small blade at his side. His heart raced. He scanned the trees. From the shadows, she stepped forward. She was tall and slender, with pale blue skin that shimmered faintly under the firelight. Her eyes, deep red, locked onto his. Her long dark hair fell over her shoulders, and her clothes were strange, made of thin, flowing material that moved even though the wind was still. She looked alien, but beautiful in a haunting way. Liam didn't move. "Who are you?" he asked, voice steady. She took another step closer, but stayed just outside the light. "My name is Varela," she said. "This place is mine. I live beneath the hills. The fire, it calls things, dangerous things." Liam kept his eyes on her. "Are you one of them?" She tilted her head, almost smiling. "Not quite." Silence stretched between them. The fire cracked again. Liam lowered his blade, but didn't put it away. "I didn't know anyone lived here. No one should. Not anymore," she said softly. Her eyes moved to the fire. She seemed both drawn to it and cautious of it, like it reminded her of something old. Liam took a slow breath. "I needed warmth. Food. I've been walking for days." "I can see that," she said, voice quieter now. "But still, you must be careful. This planet has changed. It listens." She stepped a little closer into the light. Her face was soft, almost human in shape, but her skin had no color, warmth, no veins. No breath showed in the cold air. Liam noticed something else. She didn't blink. "You speak English," he said. She gave a small nod. "I learned it long ago. Your kind came here once, then left. But some of us remembered." Liam studied her. She didn't look like a machine, and she didn't act like a hunter. There was sadness in her eyes. Tiredness. "What do you want?" he asked. She looked straight into his eyes. "To warn you, and to understand you." That answer confused him. "I'm not a threat," Liam said carefully. "I just want to survive." She finally stepped closer to the fire. Her skin glowed faintly orange from the flames. Her eyes didn't leave his. "You're human, but not like the others I remember. They came with guns, machines, anger. I came with a broken ship," Liam said, a little dryly. Her lips curved into a faint smile. "So I see." She sat down across from him, just beyond the warmth. The fire crackled between them like a wall. Liam hesitated, then sat again, his eyes still on her. "Why do you live here?" he asked, alone. Her smile faded. "My people are gone. Most returned to the deep. A few like me stayed above. We are watchers now, sleepers. My kind used to feed on heat, life, energy. Some called us monsters. Vampires. Maybe they were right. Liam felt a chill. Are you going to hurt me? She looked at him long and silent. No, she said finally. I'm not hungry. Not yet. That made Liam's heart skip. But I don't lie, she added. Not anymore. He looked at her for a long time, unsure what to believe. The wind howled through the trees. The fire danced. Then Varela asked, What's your name? Human, Liam. Liam, she repeated softly, as if trying it on her tongue. For a few minutes, neither of them spoke. Just the sound of fire and wind. Then she stood. You should put the fire out before the second moon rises, she said. They'll smell the smoke. Liam looked up. Who? But she was already turning away. He stood quickly. Wait, why are you helping me? She paused, half turned. Because, she said quietly, you reminded me of someone. A long time ago. And then she disappeared into the trees. Liam stared after her, heart pounding. The fire crackled behind him, but the night suddenly felt colder. He knew, deep in his gut, that his time on this planet was no longer just about survival. Something strange had begun. Liam didn't sleep much that night. Even after he put out the fire, he kept looking into the trees, hoping or maybe fearing that Varela would return. But the night stayed quiet. Cold air bit at his skin, and the stars above blinked like tiny frozen eyes. He wrapped himself in his emergency blanket and sat with his back to the rocks, one hand resting on his blade. His mind kept going back to her voice. You shouldn't have lit that fire. She had spoken English perfectly, and her eyes red, glowing, alive in a way that felt human, yet not human at all. Liam had seen strange things during his time as a scout. He had walked on worlds with floating mountains and blue storms, but never anything like her. By morning, he was stiff and tired. He stood, stretched, and decided to move. Staying in one place too long was dangerous, especially now. After the warning she gave, he gathered what little he had and began walking uphill, hoping to get a better view of the area. The sky was cloudy today, dimming the weak sunlight. As he climbed, Liam thought about her words. My people used to feed on heat, life, energy. Some called us monsters, vampires. Was she serious? Or just playing with his mind? After an hour of walking, he reached the top of the hill. From there, he could see far into the valley below. Thick forest stretched out like a green sea, broken only by black stone ridges and winding rivers. No smoke, no cities, no signs of human life. He pulled out his scanner. It buzzed faintly, trying to search for signals. But still nothing. He sighed. Looks like it's just me and the vampires now. Just then, a voice behind him said, You made it far for someone who crashed 3 days ago. Liam turned quickly. There she was, Varela, standing a few feet away, arms folded, her long black hair swaying gently in the breeze. How do? You keep sneaking up on me? Liam asked, trying to sound calm. She smiled faintly. Your senses are made for daylight. Mine are not. Liam gave a small nod. You followed me? No, she said, stepping closer. I watched. There's a difference. He studied her again. She still looked the same, elegant, pale, silent as a shadow. But there was something softer in her eyes today. Not cold, just tired. Why are you here? He asked. To answer the question I saw in your eyes last night, she said. You wonder if I told you the truth about being a vampire? He asked. Varela laughed. A low sound that didn't quite match the mood. Your kind gave us that name. We were something else once, something older. My people were born from heat and shadow. We could take energy from the world, trees, animals, even the sky during storms. But the strongest energy always came from living minds, from fear, memory, love. Liam frowned. So you feed on emotions? In a way, she said. But not in the way your stories told it. We don't kill. We drain. Gently, slowly. Most don't even notice. Unless we take too much. He crossed his arms. Have you ever done that? She didn't answer right away. I have made mistakes, she said at last, long ago. There was no pride in her voice, just truth. They stood there for a moment. When brushing against the rocks, Liam finally asked, "Why are you telling me all this?" "Because I want you to understand," she said. "You are the first human I've seen in over 100 years, and I don't want you to fear me. Not if we're going to survive together." "Survive together?" Liam raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Varela pointed toward the forest below. "There are things waking. Old guardians, creatures that protect this world's balance. They don't know you. They won't trust you." The fire called to them. Liam's face hardened. "Then help me get out. There must be some kind of station or old signal post nearby." "There is," she said. "But it is deep in the jungle, abandoned, hidden under roots and stone. I can take you there, if you agree to something." Liam narrowed his eyes. "What?" "I need your warmth," she said simply. He blinked. "Excuse me, my strength fades each year," she said. "I stayed on the surface too long. I don't want to return underground. I want to feel light, fire, life, just a little energy, nothing more." Liam took a step back. "So, what, you want to drain me?" "No," she said quickly. "Not like that. I can touch your hand. Just that, one moment. You'll feel tired for a second. That's all." Liam hesitated. Every instinct screamed, "Don't do it." But the logic in his mind reminded him she hadn't hurt him yet. She could have. But she didn't. "Fine," he said. "One touch. If I feel anything wrong, it's over." She nodded and stepped forward. "Give me your hand." Liam slowly held out his right hand. Her fingers were cool, almost icy when they touched his skin. But then, a strange feeling moved through him. It wasn't pain. It was more like a soft pull, like someone gently brushing through his thoughts. He felt a flicker of memory, his childhood dog, a warm campfire on Earth, a woman's laughter he hadn't heard in years. Then it stopped. Varela let go and stepped back. Liam stumbled, slightly, blinking. He felt lighter, not weaker, just like he had remembered something and forgotten it at the same time. "You didn't lie," he said. Surprised, "I told you," she said. "I only needed a little." He looked at her again, and this time she seemed brighter. Her skin had a faint shimmer, and her eyes looked less sunken. "Are you okay now?" he asked. "For a while," she said. "Enough to guide you." She turned toward the jungle. "We leave before nightfall. The path is dangerous after dark." Liam glanced at the sky. Clouds thickened overhead. Somewhere, far in the distance, a low growl echoed through the trees. He followed her, unsure of what he had just agreed to. But deep inside, he knew something important had started. She was more than a strange alien, and he was no longer just a lost man. The jungle was quiet, too quiet for Liam's liking. Thick vines wrapped around the trees like sleeping snakes, and the air smelled of damp leaves and something faintly metallic. Strange insects buzzed from time to time, but there were no birds, no animals, not even the sound of flowing water. Just silence. Varela moved through the jungle with ease. She stepped lightly, her feet barely touching the moss-covered ground. Liam followed behind, careful with every step. He couldn't match her grace, but he tried not to make too much noise. "You walk like a soldier," she said without looking back. "I was trained to," Liam replied, ducking under a low branch. "Earth soldiers don't survive long here," she added calmly. "The jungle doesn't like machines or noise." Liam looked around. "You mean the forest is alive?" "In a way," she said. "Everything here listens. Everything here remembers." They walked in silence for a few minutes. Liam wiped sweat from his forehead, even though the sky above was clouded. The air beneath the trees was heavy and hot. Finally, he asked, "How much farther to the outpost?" Varela paused and glanced over her shoulder. "Another hour. Maybe less if we avoid the deeper roots." "Deeper roots," she pointed ahead, where the trees grew wider and closer together. "Down there, the jungle becomes hungry." Liam didn't ask what she meant. He could already feel something strange about that part of the forest. A weight in the air, a pressure in his chest. He took a drink from his water pouch and kept moving. As they walked, Varela's pace slowed. Her steps became uneven, and once she stumbled slightly. Liam noticed right away. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded but didn't speak. Her pale skin looked a little dull again. and her eyes seemed tired. You need more energy, don't you? Liam said. She hesitated. Yes, but I don't want to ask again. I said I'd help, Liam said, as long as it doesn't hurt me. Varela stopped and turned toward him. It won't, I promise. He held out his hand. She touched it gently, her cool fingers wrapping around his. The same warm wave passed through him. This time it was stronger. He saw flashes, strange alien buildings made of crystal, a red sky with 3 suns, a group of pale figures walking silently through glowing trees. He even felt an emotion that wasn't his loneliness, deep, ancient loneliness. Then she let go. Liam stepped back, breathing heavily. Are you okay? She asked. Yeah, he said. Just dizzy. But I'm fine. You're stronger than you know, she said softly. They continued walking. Varela moved more easily now, her steps lighter. She looked stronger, and her voice no longer trembled. You said your people fed on energy, Liam said as they walked. Is that how you survived all these years? Yes, she replied. Most of my kind returned to the deep sleep. We call it the hollow state, a place where the body rests and the mind wanders. But you stayed. She nodded. I didn't want to forget. I didn't want to become a dream. So I stayed above, taking only what I needed from the plants, the air, and sometimes the stars. Why not from animals? We don't take from creatures without reason, and I don't take from the weak. That's the old rule. Liam looked at her with a hint of respect. She wasn't just surviving, she was trying to live with honor, even when the world around her had forgotten such things. They reached a clearing filled with strange stones shaped like teeth. Rising from the ground, Varela paused. We must go. Around, she said. This place is sacred to the jungle. It remembers pain here. Liam followed her carefully around the edge. He noticed the trees in this area were twisted, their branches reaching downward like claws. The ground was dry, and no insects buzzed here. What happened? He asked. Long ago. Humans tried to burn this part of the forest, she said. They wanted to build something here. The jungle never forgave them. As they moved on, the trees thinned slightly. Varela stopped again and pointed to a large mound covered in moss and vines. There, she said, the outpost is beneath. That Liam stepped forward and pulled away some of the vines. Underneath was a metal hatch, rusted but intact. He brushed away the dirt and found a control panel. It blinked red. Power's low, but maybe I can override it, he said, kneeling beside it. Varela stood close, watching silently. Liam worked carefully, rewiring the small console. His hands moved fast. This was one thing he was trained for. Finally, the hatch hissed and opened with a loud creak. A rush of cold air came from below. Smells like old tech, Liam said. He climbed down slowly, flashlight in hand. The stairs led into a narrow tunnel, walls lined with cables and cracked screens. He reached the bottom and found a small control room with dusty panels and a broken beacon dish. Ella followed him inside. This place is older than I thought, Liam muttered. There were others here once, Varela said softly. Your kind left in a hurry. Liam looked at the beacon. I might be able to fix it. If I can send a signal, someone might hear it. But not only humans will hear, she warned. Your signal will wake others. Liam stood quietly. He knew she was right. If he called for help, someone might come. But so might things he didn't want to meet. Still, he couldn't stay here forever. He looked at Varela. Do you want me to leave? She didn't answer right away. Then she said, I don't know. I've been alone so long. I forgot what it felt like to speak to someone, to feel warmth. I haven't forgotten, Liam said quietly. But if I stay, I'll die out here. I need to try. Varela nodded. Then I'll help you fix it. But we must move quickly. When the signal rises, so will the others. Liam got to work, and Varela stayed close, her presence strangely comforting. For the first time since his crash, Liam felt he wasn't alone. But deep down, he knew something dark was waiting. Something hungry, and they were running out of time. The outpost was quiet, buried deep beneath layers of jungle and time. Dust covered every screen, and wires hung from the ceiling like forgotten vines. The stale air smelled of rust and old metal. Yet for Liam, This broken place was a gift. It was hope. He wiped his forehead and tightened a bolt near the beacon's core. Varela watched him work, her red eyes glowing faintly in the dark room. "You've done this before," she said. "Many times," Liam replied, adjusting a cable. "Field repairs, comm towers, damaged satellites, you name it. You're different from the other humans who came here," she said softly. He paused. "You said that before." "Because it's true," Varela said. "They came to conquer. You came to survive." Liam didn't reply. His hands kept moving. The beacon had power, but only a little. If he wanted to send a signal strong enough to reach orbits or even a distant patrol, he needed to boost the signal. He checked the battery levels again. Not good. He turned to Varela. "You said this place had solar collectors." She nodded. "Yes, on the surface, above the main hatch. But they were damaged long ago. If I can repair at least one, I can store enough power to send a full signal by nightfall," Liam said. "It's risky, but it's our best chance." Varela stepped closer. "Then we'll go up before the second sun sets." Liam looked at her, and after that, her gaze dropped slightly. "If the signal works, someone will come. Maybe your people, maybe not. Are you worried?" "I'm used to hiding," she said quietly. "I've done it for a long time." He studied her face. She looked calm on the surface, but something in her eyes told a different story. She was afraid not of the jungle, not of him, but of what would happen next. If the world remembered she existed. "You helped me," Liam said. "I won't let them hurt you." She gave a small smile. "You say that now." He nodded once, then turned back to the console. For the next 2 hours, they worked together. Varela cleared vines and lifted heavy panels while Liam patched wires and adjusted damaged solar arms. By the time they finished, the collectors were humming softly, charging with the weak light that broke through the jungle canopy. They returned to the underground chamber and waited. Liam lit a small fire using what dry pieces he could find in the lower storage. The fire was small, but the warmth filled the room. Varela sat across from him, silent, watching the flames dance. "It reminds me of your kind," she said suddenly. "The fire?" "Yes," she replied. "Bright, alive, and always hungry." Liam chuckled. Not the best compliment. She looked at him. It was not meant as insult. Fire can destroy, yes, but it can also warm, guide, and protect. He poked at the flames with a metal rod. "Where did you learn so much about humans?" Varela was quiet for a moment. "From a man like you," she said finally. "Long ago. He was kind, brave, and very alone." "What happened to him?" She lowered her eyes. "He stayed too long." Liam didn't press. He could hear the pain. Behind her words, outside, the jungle whispered inside. The silence between them felt heavy, but not empty. "You said you wanted to feel light again." Liam said. "Why not leave this planet?" "There's nowhere else for me," she said. "My kind are hunted across space. Most are gone. The few who remain sleep in the deep places. Safe but forgotten. I stayed behind because I remembered." "Remembered? What?" "That not all humans are enemies." Liam looked at her. The firelight made her face glow softly. Her skin was still pale, but now it seemed warmer, more alive. She was strange, yes, but not a monster. "I don't know if my people will believe that," he said honestly. "Then don't tell them," she said simply. Liam frowned. "You want me to leave you here again?" "No," she said. "I want you to choose. If your kind answers the signal, they'll come for you. Maybe they'll help. Maybe they'll destroy everything." He didn't like that answer, but he knew she was right. "Then maybe we need a backup plan," he said. Varela raised an eyebrow. "Like what?" "I stay," Liam said, "or at least make them think I never survived. Maybe they won't look too closely." Varela looked shocked. "You would do that?" "I haven't decided yet," he admitted, "but this planet isn't what I thought it was. And you're not what I expected either. You still don't trust me," she said. "I trust you more than anyone else out here," Liam said. She smiled faintly. "That's not saying much." They both laughed softly, but it felt real. Time passed. The fire dimmed. Liam leaned against the wall, tired. Varela stayed close. You said you feed on energy, Liam said after a while. Does talking to me give you energy too? Not the kind I can store, she said. But it keeps me awake. That's enough for now, Liam said, closing his eyes. He didn't sleep long. When he opened his eyes, Varela was still sitting there, watching the last of the fire fade into embers. I don't want to return to the hollow state, she said suddenly. It's cold there, dark, and too quiet. Liam nodded. Then, we'll find another way. Varela looked at him with something like hope in her eyes. A rare emotion, one she had forgotten long ago. Outside, the solar collectors finished charging. The beacon blinked green. It was time. Liam stood, heart beating faster. He stepped to the panel and placed his hand over the send button. If I press this, he said, everything changes. Varela stood beside him. Then decide what kind of change you want. Liam looked at her. The fire behind them was gone, but something warm still remained. Not just survival now, not just escape. Something bigger had begun, something neither of them fully understood yet. He took a breath and pressed the button. The moment Liam pressed the button, a low hum filled the control room. The beacon's light pulsed brighter and brighter, cutting through the thick jungle gloom above. Outside, the distant sky grew darker as the twin moons climbed higher, but the beacon shone like a small star waiting to be found. Liam stepped back, watching the machine work. His heart pounded in his chest. Varela stood close beside him, her red eyes reflecting the glowing light. Now we wait, she said softly. Liam nodded. But inside, he was restless. The jungle felt different, charged with something unseen. It was as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Suddenly, a deep rumble echoed through the ground. The stones beneath their feet trembled. Varela's expression grew serious. They know, Liam frowned. Who? Those who sleep beneath us. The ancient guardians of this world. They do not like disturbances. They do not like change. Guardians? Liam asked. Varela's eyes flickered. Not creatures you would want to meet. He swallowed hard. The jungle around the outpost seemed to close in, shadows stretching and twisting. We have little time, she said. If the guardians rise, the signal will be lost, and so will we. Liam felt a cold shiver run down his spine. Can we stop them? No, Varela said quietly. But maybe we can talk. Talk, Liam echoed, unsure. My kind used to have a connection with them, she explained. Before the wars, before humans arrived, the guardians are part of this world's spirit. If they understand we mean no harm, they might let us pass. Liam looked at her, hope rising in his chest. We have to try, he said. They moved out of the outpost carefully, climbing the vines and rocks to the surface. Above, the jungle was alive with night sounds, distant calls, rustling leaves, and the faint glow of strange plants. The beacon's light cut through the darkness, steady and bright. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed through the forest, low and slow. Who calls the light? It asked. Liam and Varela froze. The voice was not human. It was like the earth itself speaking, deep and powerful. I am Liam, he said, stepping forward. I am lost and need help. The trees around them shivered. A large shadow moved between the trunks, a towering figure made of bark and stone, with eyes like glowing embers. The guardian's voice rumbled again. You are a stranger. Why do you disturb the balance? Liam swallowed his fear. I mean no harm. I only want to survive and find my people. Varela stepped forward, her red eyes meeting the guardian's glowing gaze. I am Varela, she said softly. I am of the Watchers. We guard this world, but we do not fight the living unless forced. The guardian studied them, silence heavy in the air. Then, slowly, it nodded. You speak with truth. The voice said, but the signal calls others who bring destruction. Liam's heart raced. What others? Your kind as enemies here, Varela said. Not all wish peace. The guardian's form shifted, branches curling like fingers. You have little time. Hide the light. Let the silence return. Liam glanced at the beacon, then back at Varela. She nodded. We must shut it down. Together, they raced back to the outpost. Liam worked quickly, cutting power to the beacon. The light faded. and the jungle fell silent once more. Outside, the night air felt heavier, but safer. Varela looked at Liam, her expression unreadable. "They will come," she said quietly. Liam nodded. "I know," as they settled near the outpost for the night. Liam realized their struggle was only beginning. The jungle was alive not just with plants and animals, but with old powers and ancient secrets, and somewhere, beyond the trees, enemies were waking. The jungle around the outpost was quiet when Liam woke. The faint light of the twin moons still hung in the sky, but the horizon was beginning to glow with the first signs of dawn. He rubbed his tired eyes and looked over at Varela. She was sitting nearby, her gaze fixed on the distant trees. "We don't have much time," she said without turning. Liam nodded. "I know. They will come." Her red eyes met his. "Your signal woke more than just the Guardians." He swallowed hard, feeling a heavy weight settle in his chest. "Who else?" he asked. She looked away for a moment. "Hunters from my kind. They believe humans are a threat. They will come to take you or worse." Liam felt a shiver run through him. "I don't want to fight." Varela shook her head. "No one does. But sometimes we have no choice." The sky brightened as the sun slowly rose. The jungle came alive with color, and birds began to sing. It was a beautiful morning, but Liam felt the darkness closing in. "We need to leave," he said. "The old outpost won't keep us safe." Varela stood, stretching. "I know a place, a safe spot not far from here." She led him through a narrow path hidden by thick vines and moss-covered stones. The air grew cooler as they moved deeper into the forest. After a long walk, they reached a small cave carved into the side of a hill. "This is where I stayed before," she said. "The others don't come here." Liam stepped inside. The cave was cool and dry, with smooth walls and a small pool of clear water. It felt peaceful. They settled inside, but the silence was tense. "Why did you stay on this world?" Liam asked again. Varela looked at the cave entrance, then back at him. "Because I believed in you, in humans, even when my kind hated your people. I hoped for something better." Liam was surprised by her honesty. "I don't know if I'm worthy of that hope," he said quietly. She smiled softly. "You are more than you think." Outside, the jungle rustled. Liam's comm device, still weak, beeped faintly, a distant signal. Someone was coming. "We have to prepare," Varela said. She moved closer to Liam. "If they find you, I will protect you." He looked into her eyes. For the first time, he felt a deep connection, not just fear or caution. "I'm glad you're here," he said. She reached out, touching his arm gently. "And I am glad you are still alive." The sun rose higher, casting warm light through the cave entrance. Liam knew this could be their last sunrise together. But whatever happened next, they would face it side by side. The jungle seemed to hold its breath as Liam and Varela waited. In the cave, the soft sounds of leaves brushing and distant calls from unknown creatures filled the air. But the tension was thick. Liam checked his comm device again. The faint signal was growing stronger. Help was coming. But he also knew that the hunters from Varela's kind were closing in fast. "We don't have much time," Varela said quietly. Her red eyes scanned the cave entrance. "They will arrive soon." Liam stood, gripping his small blade. "We need a plan." She nodded. "When they come, you stay behind me. I will speak for us." Liam hesitated. "You want to face them alone?" "No," Varela said. "But I am their kind. I know how to speak their language the old ways. You, human, will be a symbol, a sign that peace is possible." Liam looked at her, surprised. "Me, a symbol?" "Yes," she said firmly. "You survived the crash. You made a deal with me. You showed strength and kindness. That matters to them." He took a deep breath. "Then let's do this." Outside, shadows moved. The trees swayed as figures emerged, tall, pale beings with sharp eyes and silent steps. The hunters. Liam felt his heart race, but he stayed close to Varela. The leader of the hunters stepped forward. His eyes burned with cold fire. "You bring a human to this place?" the leader demanded. Varela stepped forward boldly. "He is under my protection." The leader's gaze shifted to Liam. "A human. Here, you risk everything." Liam raised his voice. "I am no threat. I only want to live and go home. The hunters murmured among themselves. Varela raised her hand. We have suffered too long. The world changes. We must change too. The leader studied them both, then nodded slowly. Show us the strength. Human. Liam felt all eyes on him. He took a step forward and spoke from his heart. I don't want war. I want peace. I want to learn, to survive, and to build something better. The hunters remained silent. Then the leader spoke again. We will watch you. Prove your words. Varela smiled faintly. And I will stand by him. The tension eased suddenly. From the jungle came a second signal, the distant sound of a human patrol ship responding to Liam's beacon. Varela's eyes widened. Your people? Liam smiled with relief. Help is here. The hunters stepped back, disappearing into the shadows. Liam turned to Varela. Thank you for everything. She looked at him, a rare warmth in her eyes. Thank you for the fire, she said softly, for reminding me what it means to feel alive, together. They stepped outside the cave. The sun was rising high, lighting the jungle in gold. The human patrol ship appeared above the trees, shining bright and powerful. Liam felt hope bloom inside him. The fire they had started small and fragile had changed everything. And now, a new story was beginning. End of part 7.